있겠니? 솜사탕과 같은 구름은 네 눈에 비춰지겠지. 설레는 마음처럼 우리의 잔은 서로를 향해 언젠가 찾아올 이별은 생각하지 않아도 돼. For summer is for falling in love. 스쳐 지나가겠지. 마치 하루가 끝날 쯤 노을의 마지막 숨결처럼 오늘의 열기가 겨울도 막아줄 수 있을까. 너의 웃음소리를 간직하며 오늘을 추억할게.
The snow is accumulating rapidly.
Temperatures are dropping fast, so stay safe out there. Look behind me.
Let's go. Simply K-pop.
Rise and frisk and push away. Push bounding so mark your way. 물들채 빠져긴 girl. We can walk call with me. Fan fire, you my fatal thrill.
나도 좋아 never stop. Floating like a bubble. Like a bubble. 그래 이대로 나더 재밌으면 됐잖아.
사라져버려. 눈부신 하늘 지나는 널 담아보려고.
Then this week, Simply K-pop. Don't miss out.
꿈을 크게 마시고 용기 내어 옷을 져 잡았어. 너와 나 사이의 물놀이. 어디에 시선을 둘지 머리부터 발끝까지 담지 못했던 어지럽던 그 말 끝없이 주워가면서 바로 잡고 있는데 다시 그 밤이 오면 지금의 마음을 담아 떠나던 너의 손을 혹시나 어려운 일들이 있다면 어떤 벽이든 괜찮아. 우린 넘을 테니까. 언제나 내 맘을 그댈
team.
Action!
Action!
Party held its first debate over the weekend.
The economy is expected to expand 2.5% this year.
Boosting Korea's ties with its global partners on the sidelines of the status UN summit.
A massive drone attack on Ukraine overnight on Monday and Tuesday. Arirang.
Introducing Korean broadcast content that you won't be able to stop watching. For weary modern souls, Dr. Romantic, the quirky genius doctor of Doldam Hospital, prescribes heartwarming tales of humanity. A couple together for 7 years sees their rose-tinted glasses shatter. Can they keep their relationship alive? Discover the raw stories of youth, work, and love. Beyond what social media can show, experience the vibrant Korea through its hidden gems. Mama, the ultimate K-pop festival for global fans. Find your star in a feast of trendy music and electrifying performances. Now, the whole world enjoys it together.
South Korea kicked off its FIFA World Cup campaign against Czechia about an hour ago. Thousands of fans dressed in red gathered at Gwanghwamun Square in downtown Seoul to cheer on the national team. President Lee Jae-myung is in Italy for a state visit. He met with the Italian president and agreed to bolster ties in areas including security, AI, and biotech. U.S. President Donald Trump says he has canceled strikes against Iran after earlier threats to carry out very hard attacks. He says the two sides are close to reaching a deal, but Iran said nothing has been finalized. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is officially underway for South Korea, with the Taeguk Warriors taking on Czechia in Mexico in their opening Group A encounter. Fans have gathered at Seoul's Gwanghwamun Square to cheer on the team. For more on the atmosphere there, we go live to our correspondent Cho Young-eun. So Young-eun, what's it like at the scene there?
Indeed, I'm currently standing in Gwanghwamun Square, where football fans have gathered to support Korea in its opening match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. As you can see behind me, despite the game kicking off on a Friday morning, the atmosphere here is electric, with supporters here in large numbers. Many fans are wearing red jerseys, waving flags, and holding scarves in the signature color of the national team and its supporters. Known as the Red Devils, South Korea's football supporters became internationally recognized for its street cheering during the country's memorable run to the semifinals in 2002. Adding to the festive atmosphere, K-pop boy group Portis performed its latest title track, Red Red, ahead of the match as part of the cheering event. Police and organizers, including the Korea Football Association, KT Corporation, and the Red Devil Supporters Group, have implemented safety measures, with as many as 6,000 people expected to attend today's event. Earlier, I spoke with some fans about their excitement for the match. Let's take a listen.
We were born in 2003, so we didn't get to experience the 2002 World Cup. We came out today because we wanted to feel the atmosphere from back then.
I hope all of our players stay strong without any injuries and achieve great results in this World Cup. Go Korea!
It's the first match, so I'm really excited. At the same time, I came here feeling that we absolutely have to win. So I'm nervous too.
Right, it certainly looks like an exciting atmosphere there. Now, Young-eun, how is the match unfolding?
Right, Eunji. South Korea's match against Czechia today is a crucial step in its bid to reach the knockout stage for a second consecutive World Cup. The match kicked off at 11 a.m. and we have now just ended the first half. The score currently stands at 0-0 and supporters continue to react to every attack as South Korea pushes for a positive result in its opening match of the tournament. Hong Myung-bo's starting lineup began with key players Son Heung-min, Lee Jae-sung, and Lee Kang-in. Today's group stage opener would set the tone for South Korea's entire World Cup campaign. Expectations are high as the Azteca Warriors qualified for the tournament for the 11th consecutive time and the 12th time overall. Regardless of the outcome, the energy remains high at home, with fans hoping for the national team to win its World Cup journey on a winning note. That's all I have for now. Back to you, Eunji.
All right, that was our correspondent Cho Young reporting from Gwanghwamun Square. President Lee Jae-myung has sent a message of support to South Korea's national football team as it takes on Czechia in its opening match of the 2026 World Cup. In a social media post on Friday, he praised the players for their hard work and dedication, saying he hopes they will showcase the skills they have honed through countless hours of training and preparation. He added that he will be cheering for every member of the squad and wished the team an injury-free tournament. Over in Italy, President Lee Jae-myung held a summit with the Italian president, which resulted in an upgrade to bilateral ties. The two countries are set to expand cooperation in a host of areas, including the economy. Our Blue House correspondent Yoon Jang-min reports from Rome.
The South Korean first couple was given an official welcome by Italian President Sergio Mattarella. Thursday's talks between President Lee Jae-myung and the Italian ceremonial head of state focused on upgrading bilateral ties to a higher level, building upon 142 years of diplomatic friendship.
오늘 대통령님과 저는 우리 양국 관계를 특별 전략적 동반자 관계로 격상하기로 하였습니다. 공동 번영을 향한 새로운 협력의 장을 열어가게 될 것입니다.
Our two countries share a lot in common in terms of politics. Furthermore, we will expand trade and economic cooperation and expand synergy in the defense industry and science and technology.
Korea and Italy plan to expand cooperation on chips, AI, and biotech, and expand support for small and medium-sized firms in both countries. Lee thanked Italy for addressing unfavorable conditions affecting Korean companies following the recent introduction of Italy's super depreciation tax scheme. Also addressed were energy security and global security issues such as the Middle East war.
한 이탈리아 양국은 에너지 안보와 공급망 안정을 함께 도모하며 긴밀하게 소통하고 협력해 나가기로 하였습니다.
We discussed the situation in the Strait of Hormuz, its effect on food security, and the need to reopen this crucial waterway.
On North Korea, Lee explained South Korea's peace vision, and Mattarella responded by saying he hopes for stability on the peninsula through dialogue. The two countries plan to expand cooperation on the cultural front, based on the agreement on film co-production, while Korean language audio guide services will be launched at the historic Roman Forum. During Thursday's state dinner, the South Korean president received Italy's highest honor awarded to foreign leaders, the Knight Grand Cross with Color of the Order of Merit. Bolstering strategic cooperation between Korea and Italy will also be a dominant theme when President Lee meets Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni on Friday. Yoon Jang-min, Arirang News, Rome.
Seoul and Washington have reaffirmed their shared goal of the denuclearization of North Korea during their latest Nuclear Consultative Group, or NCG, meeting held in Seoul. Following the sixth round of NCG talks on Thursday, the two sides released a joint statement reaffirming their commitment to the denuclearization of North Korea, marking the first time such language has been included in an NCG statement. The statement also said the allies would strengthen extended deterrence through the continued development of the NCG in response to the North's advancing nuclear and missile capabilities. The move has drawn attention as China made no mention of denuclearization of the Korean peninsula during a summit between Chinese President Xi Jinping and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Pyongyang earlier this week. On the conflict in the Middle East, U.S. President Donald Trump says a deal with Iran could be finalized within days, raising hopes of an end to months of conflict. However, Tehran has once again pushed back on claims made by Trump, saying a final agreement has not been reached yet. Our Chung Il reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump says Washington and Tehran are nearing an agreement that could ease months of conflict and reopen vital shipping routes in the region. Speaking at the Oval Office on Thursday, Trump claimed a breakthrough had been reached on a preliminary memorandum of understanding.
We just made a great settlement of the war with Iran, and we're going to be subject to finalization of documents. We should get done over the next few days. We'll probably have a signing maybe in Europe.
Trump noted that his Vice President J.D. Vance, along with top U.S. advisors, are expected to attend the potential signing ceremony. According to the U.S. president, the proposed deal ensures Iran will never purchase or develop a nuclear weapon.
They will not have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that. A memorandum of understanding, also agreed to by many other countries that have great influence over them.
Earlier in the day, Trump had threatened new military strikes against Iran, but hours later, he announced he was canceling those plans based on discussions that had reached Iran's top officials. However, Tehran pushed back on Trump's claims. According to an Iranian state TV news channel on Thursday, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghai said nothing had been finalized and that the U.S. is making excessive demands. Baghai also stressed that Iran would not compromise on its core positions and said negotiations are still ongoing through mediators, including Qatar and Pakistan. While U.S. regional markets responded positively to the news of a pause in strikes, analysts believe that the situation remains highly volatile. 정혜림, Arirang News.
The European Central Bank has raised its key interest rate by 0.25 percentage points, citing inflation concerns linked to tensions in the Middle East. Following a policy meeting in Frankfurt on Thursday, the ECB lifted its benchmark deposit rate to 2.25%, marking its first rate hike in nearly 3 years. The move comes after a year of rate cuts and reflects growing concern over rising energy costs and inflation pressures triggered by the conflict in the Middle East. The ECB is the first G7 central bank to raise rates since the latest surge in global prices began. And Korea's stock market surged more than 7% at today's open on growing hopes of an end to the conflict in the Middle East. The benchmark index opened 6.44% higher, breaking above the 8,300 level during intraday trading. Trading was temporarily halted as a buy-side sidecar was triggered on the KOSPI just 6 minutes after the opening bell. The rally was fueled by hopes for a U.S.-Iran peace deal after U.S. President Donald Trump said Washington had reached a great settlement with Iran. The secondary Kosdaq also opened more than 3% higher, reclaiming the 1,000-point level. Young farmers are keeping Korea's rural communities alive. One of them is a young woman now running her family's third-generation dairy farm. Our Kim Sa-young tells us more.
4 in the morning. That is when 33-year-old dairy farmer Kwak Jin-young begins her day.
When I get up at 4 in the morning, I check whether the cows were okay overnight and whether there were any alerts. Then I get ready for the milking.
The dairy farm is named after her grandmother. She began working on the farm full-time 8 years ago, following in her father's footsteps. But this isn't just any farm. Each cow wears a chip around its neck or ear, which works as an ID card. It is part of an ICT-based system that helps monitor a cow's health, including how much they have eaten and how much milk they are likely to produce.
We can get alerts on our phones right away about their body temperature or other health issues.
Most of the raw milk produced on the farm is supplied to dairy companies. But Kwak has also opened a cafe in downtown Pyeongtaek in Gyeonggi-do province, where she uses milk from her own farm.
The Rural Development Administration supports farmers in producing high-quality dairy products through programs such as cheese-making training.
KWAG is now preparing to begin full-scale production of processed dairy products. She is also close to receiving HACCP, an internationally recognized food safety management certification. Kim Seo-young, Arirang News.
In southern city of Ulsan, a new ride utilizing magnetic levitation technology has been built as a representative tourist attraction. It's expected to become a new regional landmark in the city. Our Tae-young reports.
A whale-shaped, two-person cart glides smoothly along the rail. It passes closely through the trees, and as it ascends the hill, a panoramic view of the ocean unfolds. Cheers erupt from the passengers during the sharp turns.
It was scary at first, but now I can take in the beautiful scenery. Since it goes pretty fast, it would be more fun to ride in the summer.
This hands-on attraction that newly opened in Changsongpo, Ulsan, is called the Whale Cart. As an electric-powered ride, it is the first facility in South Korea to apply magnetic levitation technology. Passengers can adjust the speed themselves, reaching a maximum of 40 kilometers per hour. The carts are also equipped with a collision prevention system that automatically adjusts the distance between them, ensuring safety.
Passengers can enjoy a thrilling yet pleasant time while overlooking the sea and the whale culture village, which showcases the beauty of hydrangeas and lavender.
New hands-on attractions and accommodations will open one after another around the Ulsan Whale Cart. Attention is now focused on whether Changsongpo will grow beyond its region to become a national tourist attraction. Cha Yoon-kyung, Arirang News.
This is The World Now, bringing you everything you need to know from around the globe. The 2026 FIFA World Cup kicked off Thursday at Mexico City's Azteca Stadium with a star-studded ceremony featuring Shakira and Burna Boy before a crowd of more than 80,000 watched as Mexico defeated South Africa 2-0 in a bad-tempered opener with 3 red cards shown. Julian Quiñones gave Mexico an early lead before Raúl Jiménez headed home midway through the second half to seal the win. South Africa had 2 players sent off and Mexico won in a scrappy encounter that nonetheless sent the green-clad home crowd into raptures. Outside the stadium, thousands of teachers and activists staged protests over wages and social inequality, leveraging the global spotlight. Mexico last hosted the World Cup in 1986, and the Azteca becomes the first stadium to host 3 World Cup opening matches. The 48-team tournament is the largest in history and the first to be held across 3 countries, namely the United States, Mexico, and Canada. SpaceX launched the largest initial public offering in history on Thursday, pricing shares at $135 each and raising $75 billion. This put the value of Elon Musk's rocket and satellite company at $1.77 trillion, making him the world's first trillionaire. Musk retains 82% of the voting power after the offering, and his net worth will exceed $1.1 trillion when trading begins Friday. SpaceX set aside 30% of shares for retail investors, an unusually large allocation. The company's Starlink internet service currently accounts for most of its revenue across 164 countries. However, the market remains braced for volatility and unpredictable trading. In the U.S., President Trump nominated Manhattan's top federal prosecutor, Jay Clayton, as permanent director of national intelligence on Thursday in a bid to resolve a political standoff blocking renewal of a key foreign surveillance program. Democrats had refused to provide votes to renew Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which expires Friday, unless Trump removed loyalist Bill Pult as acting intelligence director. Clayton, a former Securities and Exchange Commission chairman with no intelligence background, was recommended to Trump by CIA Director John Ratcliffe. British Defense Minister John Healey resigned Thursday, accusing Prime Minister Keir Starmer of failing to commit the resources needed to keep the country safe, dealing another blow to a leader already facing calls to step down. Healey said the proposed defense spending plan fell well short of what was needed against rising threats from Russia and demands for a greater military presence in the Arctic and the Middle East. A junior defense minister also quit on the same day. Starmer appointed Security Minister Dan Jarvis as Healey's replacement. The resignation comes less than a month before a NATO summit. Chu Ji-hyun, Arirang News.
Most of the country will enjoy sunny skies and pleasant early summer weather. But as we're getting into mid-June, the weather pattern will be changing with southwesterly winds push temperatures even higher. And back to today's, while it's not going to be excessively hot and with an ideal humidity, you'll still want a hat or umbrella to protect yourself from the strong sunshine and high UV levels. And this afternoon, Seoul and Ulsan will be getting up to 28 degrees Celsius. Daegu, Gyeongju will be hotter at 30 degrees. Air quality will be normal to good nationwide all day today. Meanwhile, most regions will stay dry, but inland and mountainous areas of Gangwon-do province could see a brief afternoon showers. Sunny skies will continue through the weekend with a chance of passing rain on Sunday. Then next week looks hotter with temperatures staying in the low 30s.
Now that's all we have for today's noon edition of Arirang News. Thank you for watching. We'll be back at 5 p.m. Korea time. Stay tuned.